We're knocking down some unimpressive second cut out of Ryan's place. It really could have been a lot better than what it was, but upon closer inspection, it looks to me like the bugs got to it. The alfalfa, they really went after that. The grass looks to me like it just ran out of energy. So we're working on my dad's and Ryan's hay today. We're actually probably about 45 minutes from being done. We're working in the same field right now. This is the first time in my lifetime I've ever ran in the same field with another machine cutting hay before. I mean, you got to remember the last time that we've done that on these farms, it was actually back when we were running the sickle cutters, mowers, and that was, if I really think about that, I think that was before I was even driving tractor yet. I mean, it's been long enough. I've been running tractor for 20 years. So a question that I should probably answer that doesn't get asked, but it will, is would I buy another disc bind, and what would I buy? Well, I would. I wouldn't buy another one of these. And by that, I mean I would buy another green machine, absolutely. I just wouldn't buy another 11-footer. Would I get rid of this one? No. I actually like the idea of running two different width machines. The reason for that is because we cut a lot of pasture ground, a lot of rougher ground, a lot of waterways, and I'm noticing that when you're trying to cut them with a 13-foot, we never took that through any pastures, but this one's a little bit handier because it's a little bit narrower. On some of the bigger fields, more open fields like we're at right now, I mean, running the wider machine is no problem at all. But then also, if you can run two machines, get two people, coordinate with two people to actually get out and cut, I mean, it's the best. So I'm going to catch up to Ryan here. The goal is, once we get this cut, let it lay for 2 days, hopefully rake it. The following day, once again, try to coordinate. We'll probably be running 2 rakes and that merger. As far as the rakes go, that New Holland, you're gonna make me stop. I kind of want to get home and see Relina before she's gotta go to bed. As far as coordinating, it's sometimes a hassle just between getting everybody on the same page. But if we can get the New Holland rake down at my place, because it's a time burner down there. There's a lot more waterways, a lot more backing up, which with the New Holland rake, well, backing up and everything with cutting it, and then if you're trying to rake it with that Rhino rake, can't be quite as efficient as you'd like. The merger, there's no way I'd take that merger down there to do that. I don't want to beat that thing up. But the New Holland rake, turn on a dime, and up and down the waterways, up one, down the other, done. Out here where the hay is lighter overall, it actually doesn't look too bad through here. Yeah, we got weeds in it, but it's new seeding. And after we do this, oh, there's a nice washout. The weed pressure should really lighten up, especially if we'll cut it on the same rotation as everything else going forward. But Ryan's got a field or two that he specifically wants to do with the merger, and it would actually be best if he ran it with the merger. And then the Rhino rake out here will shine the best because it's more open. That rake, you can wing that out, what, 28 feet, 30, it's not quite 30 feet. Wing that out about 28 feet wide and drive, which, you know, I don't believe in abusing your equipment, but I do believe in using your machinery efficiently to the fullest of its abilities. And then I don't know if it'll be dry enough. It really is just going to depend on what the weather's going to allow. But if it will be dry enough, I'll start baling Friday night into Saturday, finish off Saturday, and have Dad and Ryan go through and get these bales hauled in. They're calling for rain Sunday, which is, I don't know if it's July 28th, if I haven't said it yet, and for those of you that like to keep score, I wasn't planning, I didn't think we were going to be cutting in July. I thought we were done, just for the weather forecast. They really dumbed it down. They pulled a lot of the rain out of the forecast. Because it went from, whenever I last told you that, they were calling for rain every day until about the 5th of August. They're calling for a chance of rain tonight. The next chance is this upcoming Sunday. But as I say that, I'm hoping, another 4-letter word I don't like to use. I already have part of my fertilizer here. I'm going to come back through. It's my dad's and brother's hay, yes. We don't typically fertilize this late in the season, but I'm going to give it a go because everything that we've cut so far is plus first cut. We have enough feed to feed my parents' cattle. We'll have enough feed with what Ryan carried over from last year to feed his cattle. So I go through and fertilize for a third cut because if I can get it made the 1st September, produce what it will produce, and I'm hoping it'll yield better than second cut, to be frank, that's exactly what I'm hoping for. Stick it inside, wait until January through March, see what the hay market is doing, and if we have a nasty winter, which seems kind of backwards to almost hope for some crummier weather this winter, but it'll get some of that hay usage up, so there drives up more of that hay demand. And then I'll sell some of this hay, part of this hay, as much of the hay as I can for my parents, because it is just another crop that we can sell. Nothing that's, we've never done it to this degree in the past, but you got to make changes. That's simply put, you got to make changes. Doing it the same way year after year and hoping for different results is the definition of insanity. Not so much about us since we took the farms over, because we're gradually tweaking things here and there. We're not doing things the same year over year, which I'm very glad about, grateful for. That's what it was for at least the last 10 years my grandpa was alive. Grandpa was the one in charge, and what we did is the same thing that he always used to do, and he wasn't all that flexible, which for everybody that's farming nowadays knows that refusing to be flexible and adapt and change can be very hazardous to your operation. So trying to utilize more hay, I mean, you guys know that I am, but trying to produce a bunch of hay for my parents that they can sell, great. Their cow numbers increased where we can't sell it, but we're feeding it out to our cows, even better. And that is what we're doing year over year, is we're adding to the cow herd. I am kicking it around pretty hard. For those of you that are watching my channel long enough know that I was originally talking about instead of buying these bred cows, buying some 500-pound feeders, heifers. To be honest with you, that thought hasn't left my mind. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing that. I know, we got a washout. I'm really thinking about buying some feeder heifers this fall yet to add to the cows of my own. Just because selling hay is nice, but if I can feed it through my own cattle, still have hay to sell once I get to the number of cattle I'm looking for, then great. We gonna do a photo op? Let's do a photo op. I'm gonna talk to myself, but oh well. Sometimes I need expert advice. I'm not getting out though. So make sure you go to How Farms Work Instagram and Snapchat if you want to see this awesome photo op. Oh, Ryan's gonna come talk to me. Nope, even better. When anybody ever gets around the moving parts of the power takeoff, being a good brother as I am, well, just protective overall of everybody, you gotta have your head on your butt and make sure you shut the stuff off so you don't hurt anybody. Everybody say hi to Ryan. What is with him wearing red? Or is he trying to match with the Kuhn equipment? He actually matches better with the orange stuff. Keep an eye on it so it falls off. Got it. Do we let him go first? Or do I go first? I should go first, but I've been letting him go first for the last hour or so. Good! Haha! I'm out of here. I hope you guys enjoy the running commentary on the rest of the story. I mean, surprise, surprise, you guys didn't know this unless I told you. This is like my 5th take of this video. And honestly, my don't give a F's are pretty well used up. Or my give a F's are pretty well used up. And I'm probably just going to post whatever we film here. Do I like the Kuhn equipment? Because I know somebody already asked that. Yes, I like the Kuhn equipment. Why wouldn't I like the Kuhn equipment? And you know, the best part is I don't have any agreement with Ryan. Or not Ryan, but with Kuhn. I can say whatever I want about the Kuhn equipment. And you know what? I like the Kuhn equipment. So, unfiltered right there, folks. I like the disc bind. I really like that manure spreader. I mean, I really like those vertical spreaders. And, I mean, mark my words. If, what do? I gotta drive slow enough that Ryan can keep up. Make no mistake, who's the better operator in this operation? Oh, man. So Ryan had a black eye, huh? I didn't know that. Everybody was asking me why I had a cut in my head and why Ryan had a black eye. Well, rest assured, it wasn't because we were fighting. Ryan and I have never fought. We have joked around and wrestled as, you know, being lighthearted. We've never actually fought. I think my parents are pretty grateful about that. I don't know where Ryan got the black eye from. I really don't. Hey! Oh, you... See? This is why we can't have nice things. Okay, so we're going to turn this into NASCAR. I'm kidding. Oh, this GoPro's still back there. That's good. Oh. Am I going to buy anything anytime soon? No. I was bidding on a 5-shank inline ripper on auction time. Put $5,000 on it. And granted, a little disclaimer here, just because I say I put $5,000 on a piece of equipment just now doesn't mean that I have $5,000 to spend. I'd like to keep everybody guessing. Well, honestly, when you don't know what your harvest is going to bring, I mean, the only reason I bid on it is because I thought it was, watching what everything else was selling for, I thought it was actually going to be a pretty good buy. $5,000 was a lot more than I really wanted to spend, but we got some compaction issues created by that late wet harvest we had. What's he doing? Oh, man. As we're doing this then. Oh. I don't mind. I'm not complaining. I'm getting my second win because I'm tired. I mean, I was up late. At least Relina wasn't up super late last night, but I guess it's just been a long day. That inline ripper I'm going for $8,000. That's more than I was going to pay for an inline ripper. If I'm going to pay that kind of money, I'd go buy a chisel plow. We need a chisel plow. I don't like our case. What am I going to do with ours, or my dad's? I'm going to fix it. I'm going to put 3-inch shovels on it instead of the 4-inch. I'm going to plumb up everything, tighten up everything that I can. And if I can't find a chisel plow by this fall, which, spoiler alert, I probably won't, we're going to run my dad's machine again. So I think part of the problem is we're using tractors to pull that 6500 concert till, bigger tractors than what we're really intended to be on it. And then we're putting the wide shovels on it, so it's going to pull that much harder. So just for the sake of the machine and not having to pick parts up out of the field on a regular basis. Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean to the red manufacturer, but that thing is a POS. The red disc that I had before that 630 of mine was a POS. And older equipment that has nothing to say about their newer stuff, but that was case 2, so I don't know, whatever. I'm not brand specific, it's just that I do like my green equipment. I do like the quality that you get out of it, but the problem is you can't afford to buy brand new equipment. They're pricing those right out of my price range, and to be completely honest, the used equipment is getting way overpriced anymore, to the point that used tractors, 7810 was on auction time this morning, not this morning, this weekend, which I don't generally want to buy a tractor from an auction. At least that was my thought process, that I'd always buy through dealers. It's getting more and more likely that I'm going to be less willing to buy from dealers. I'm going to start pulling a northern farmer and start doing some more online shopping. I'd like to see it in person if I could, but as far as the used stuff, I mean the lighter used stuff, I'm not going to buy a $8,000 or $8,000 hour, $10,000 hour tractor. But that 7810 had 3,000 hours on it. It looked really nice. I mean, it was very well taken care of, which is what I would look for in a machine purchase. It went for $92,000. It had IVT in it, which was the new IVTs, I was told, avoid them. But for how that machine looked, I would have been willing to make an exception. But really, $90,000? I mean, let's face it, I'm probably not going to have the 7600 for the rest of my farming career. I mean, it's pretty unlikely. I mean, just being honest and facing the facts. But if you're starting to pay $100-some thousand for an operation like us, it's going to be on the farm for probably 20 years plus. But if we had a couple other tractors to spread out some of the workload, I mean, Dad would probably be doing something right now if he had something a little bit more reliable. I mean, the 82 is too big, and the 4020 being narrowed up, it has its jobs that are assigned to it, and that's what they are. Even as far as I was just told today, I don't look at the 50 series, like the 4250s and 60s or 55s, but I was told today that even the front wheel assist 4050s, well, 55s, whatever they are, even they're still running around 50,000. A two-wheel drive 4440, I just watched one of those sell 25 to 30,000. It's a lot of money to invest in a tractor for as old as it is. Less electronics, which I know is a big push for a lot of these guys buying this equipment, but I know what I like, I know what I want. I'm really not interested in buying a blue tractor or a red tractor. interested in the Massey's. I will say that. I wouldn't mind trying out a Massey Ferguson. Not one of the older styles, but one of the newer-ish, like the 7620s. Demoing something like that, or just using it for cutting hay once or twice would be all right. So I don't know. We were talking earlier about new farmers, like tried and true, brand new, first time farmers. We figure they're going to be pretty well extinct, at least in my lifetime. And what I mean by a first time beginning farmer is a guy that goes out and buys a farm from scratch, has to buy his own equipment, and is a tried and true, like first generation farmer. Things are getting so expensive anymore, like even land, just even being able to buy enough land that you can make a go of it, of being a row crop farmer or a cattle farmer. Those days are numbered. They really are. I mean, anymore now, if it's not in the family, or if you're not working for a guy that's willing to pass it on to you or help you get started. But as far as I'm talking about, somebody that with zero help buying into an operation. I don't even know if they exist today. Anybody that buys any amount of acreage that turns it into more of a hobby farm, where you got a couple cows, or even like bees, or producing honey or something like that, I could see more of. But as far as row crops and cattle, I don't think anybody, as far as even milking, I don't know anybody that try to start out milking anymore nowadays. I know I sure don't. I've had my fill of the dairy industry at this point in my life, and the only black and white cows I'm probably going to have again are going to be bottle calves, and not for my benefit, but for my kids. That's why I don't want to get rid of any of my bottle calf equipment, is because in time my kids are actually going to learn work ethic by taking care of cattle. They are going to help me on the farm, whether they want to or not. My goal is to not work my kids on the farm so much that they have absolutely zero interest, never want to raise another cow, or they never want to drive tractor ever again. That'll never be my intent. But Berlina is going to be driving tractors. She is going to be raising bottle calves, even if it's 2 calves. I mean, to get her started, 1 calf, even if there isn't any money in it. I, as my kid's parent, have no problem taking the expenses, and I'll pay for it. And then my kids, if they're willing to put the work into raising those calves, and they get up morning and night, they feed them, they take care of them, I'll buy the medication, I'll buy the feed, I'll buy the milk replacer, I'll buy any supplies they may need to raise them. As long as they're willing to put the work into it, that money out of that calf, when it gets sold, is theirs. That's just how it is. If you're willing to work for it, you deserve it. So they gotta learn somewhere. I mean, if I could do that, as opposed to having my kids actually go get a full-time job or a part-time job in school, if they can pay for their own vehicles that way, by earning it, not just expecting it, I'm okay with that. So I'm not gonna raise brats. My kids, I understand playing on video games, electronics, it's here to stay, but as far as my kids doing it on a regular basis, no. Welcome outside. You can help Dad farm. So, as far as farming, that's a good topic. Well, with the way current prices are with corn and beans, has that shied me away from wanting to rent ground? No. If anything, it hasn't made me want to go rent thousands and thousands of acres, and my operation will never be thousands and thousands of acres. If I am 1,000 acres plus cattle, but being diverse, you know, 1,000 acres of row crops plus a bunch of hay ground, because unless something really goes south on making hay, I do enjoy making hay. But then, yep, camera's still there. I don't want to run huge amount of acres of corn and beans. Maybe at the very, very, very most 2,000 acres total, but anywhere if it lands between 1,000 to 2,000 acres of my own, I'm okay with that. I mean, the area that we're in is a hard area to really pick up ground. It just is. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of guys that aren't even from this area. I'm talking, what, 30, 40, 50 miles that are actually coming into this area for ground. Competition is alive and well. So I don't like doing cold calls, you know, calling a landlord up. Hey, I'm such and such, I'm willing to pay you X amount of dollars, or if you're looking for a new landlord, I'm your guy. I did that when I was in my early 20s. Honestly, showed more of my inexperience and what I was really doing. I do more of just advertising. I would rather advertise for ground rather than cold call. It's simpler that way. Because if a landlord contacts me for renting ground, I don't have to feel so bad about the previous renter losing it. I'm not trying to rent it away from the other guy, it's the landlord. At least that's what it's been, the people that have called me so far. Ouch. The one washout in that whole waterway, and I find it. So I'm actually out of battery life. And we're done. Brian's got hardly anything there. I got hardly anything here, and then 6 passes back on the other side of the hill, and then you guys can look forward to some raking videos, some baling videos, and as always, because I've talked about that darn thing enough, probably at least one more spraying video. Does that sound fair? But then after, probably within a week, this next stuff that I spray with fertilizer is going to be it. No more fertilizer, no more spraying. I doubt I'm going to bother spraying for weeds at this point in the year. I'm going to get that sprayer put away and forgotten about, albeit knowing that everything works on it when I put it away. So, you got that to look forward to. And then maybe some purchases this fall, right? Probably not going to be metal or iron, but tillage would be nice. But if I actually had to put my finger on anything that I'm probably going to end up buying, it's probably going to have 4 hooves and goes moo. More cattle. I'm really leaning towards more cattle. It isn't going to take me a whole lot to get that loan paid off for the bred cows I bought. And then if I really ramp up my heifers that I'm retaining, well, basically everything I got, plus another 5, 10, 15. I mean, if I got 30, 40 head of feeders to sell, if I'm maxed out in the amount of cattle I can raise, or I have capacity for, I mean, 20, 30, 40 head, selling the feeders at current prices, I mean, if I could land that anywhere between $20,000 to $40,000 in a cow check, that'll be an equipment purchase. Just mark my words. If I go buy a spreader, it's going to be a Kuhn hydro push with the vertical beaters on it, because those things rock. In the short term, if I need a spreader, if that one of my parents falls flat in its face, because we do need a box spreader, don't get me wrong, it'll be a New Holland 195. I mean, largely just because there's so many of them out there, I know I can find one relatively quick. So with that, my camera's flashing, I gotta go. You guys are watching the rest of the story. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you ding the little bell down below to get notifications when I am posting, because well, for the foreseeable future, I'm back at it. So until next time, take it easy.